This should be rammed. It kind of looks like Asda. That is ridiculous. Very odd. Don't agree with it. Right, how much is a Jeff Bezos banana? Well, hello guys, and welcome to the most hated supermarket in England and probably the world. Almost as much as I hate this weather. Are you joking? It's spray raining. I have come out for you guys because you're that weird time period between Christmas and New Year. We've got to get out, we've got to go and see things. Yes, let's go and see what is going on. Maybe they sell umbrellas because I definitely need one. I can't believe I forgot my brolly. But anyway, yes, we're going to go down to the Amazon Fresh store. And you might be like, Hannah, you've vlogged this before. Yes, I have, but it's been, I think, a little over 4 years since those stores landed here in London. And it's been a bit of a weird few years. In London, there are now 21 stores, but they actually have closed 3 of them. And there were plans to have over 250 of these in the UK, which obviously hasn't happened. And it has been confirmed that the store closures have been because of terrible sales. And I think I know why, but let's go and find out either way. And if you're wondering what Amazon Fresh is, it's a physical store. It is a grocery store, a small supermarket. There's obviously a number of them in London, but it is filled with the highest of technology. Yes, Jeff Bezos and his team had this idea that you could just walk out of a shop and you don't have to speak to a human being to go shopping. But one thing I'm going to find out is, do you actually have to have an Amazon account to shop there? I think you might, but there's definitely some things that I think need changing because, let's be honest, it is failing. Yes, I am up in West Hampton. Oh my gosh, look at my hair. My gosh, I do apologise. Amazon Fresh, it's in this newish development, and yeah, they've been closing the stores down. And also, it is completely cashless, so what do you do if you want to pay cash? Can you? I know Amazon has always been cashless supporters, shall we say, but let's go and see. Oh my gosh, this weather. I kind of wish I was one of those YouTubers that just like unbox stuff in my bedroom. I don't really watch those videos. Right, we're gonna go for it. Can't wait for the green man. Okay, so you don't have to scan to go in anymore. I'm learning as we go, guys. I also have water literally dripping down my face. You've got the standard Amazon locker to pick up your bits, which is probably no surprise, but let's head on round. And what makes this store so unique is when we look up, look at the grids in the ceiling. I know I've shown you this before. There are hundreds, if not more, cameras in the store. Bit Big Brother, isn't it? And basically will assess what you've picked up as you walk around. It's a bit creepy, not gonna lie, but yeah, look. There is a rumour, I'm not sure if it's true, that the cameras are just people on the other end in another country watching you. I don't think that's true, but anyway, flipping heck, I'm really sorry, I look like a state. But yeah, already interesting to see, because I've been to a few different Amazon Freshes and I've vlogged them, I think, over the years. But yeah, I've been around for about 4 years now. You don't have to scan to come in anymore, which I think is a huge plus, because let's be honest, sometimes you just want to have a quick browse, you want to have a quick look, a quick, dive in, and you're not sure what you're going to get. And I think getting your phone out to come into a shop is ridiculous, so I'm glad they got rid of that. £6.30. We are in London, but I am very mindful of kind of like-for-like prices at like your Sainsbury's and Tesco's. £14.70. Music is blaring out a bit loud, which is slightly annoying, but 2 for £4. One of the other things that people say is how expensive this store is. It's giving like Waitrose without the bouginess apparently, but 2 for £4 is about normal, I would say, for strawberries. I'll try and keep an eye out for things that I know confidently price-wise. But also, people are whinging that the prices are just really odd. £2 1 pence. What? That is bizarre. But yes, can Bezos sell a bit of fruit and veg? I mean, look at this store, people. It is empty. And I will overshare. It is the Saturday, the 21st of December. This should be rammed. There's literally no one in here. Yeah. I mean, there's no one in here, my gosh. You've got a 2 pizzas, drink and 8-pack for £12. That doesn't seem too bad, to be fair, but I do think they need to do a lot around their marketing and pricing. Okay, we go. Margarita pizza. Oh, fly me, stop singing. Margarita pizza by Amazon is £3.90 or 2 for £5, which is, I think that's pretty reasonable. But I think Amazon did shoot themselves in the foot when they first started opening these stores, because some of this seems like okay-ish prices, but honestly, like everything was at least 20% more than like your Tesco. It was ridiculous. I think everyone got excited about the idea of the shop, came here and was like, I'm not paying that, that's ridiculous. But anyway, we've got this coffee station. This is probably a really good idea because the stores tend to be like a smaller line, almost like a local store in a city, hence why they're all in London. But yeah, coffee, all drinks, £2.45. That's quite good. A bakery item and a coffee, £2.85. All right, that seems reasonable. And you can make it iced. So a staple of any supermarket is the bakery. I do think this is a little lackluster. The fixturing is lovely. It looks very clean. But yeah, they've got this call out, £2.85, and then what is included in this. Actually, someone next to me just got, I think it's a bit confusing because I think people think that's the price. But I guess in time you get to know. Yeah, pastries, we do not cover them up in Europe. We just cough on them and just hope for the best. What have we got? £1.05 for a chocolate chip cookie. I think that's probably fair pricing. A massive jam donut for 50p. A little baguette, 87p. I think the prices are just really bizarre. And are these little screens? Yeah, they are. They're little computer screens. Yes, the technology was the real hook, and honestly, I was pretty excited when this store opens, I will overshare. And the other thing, apart from the cameras and the sensors, is these shelves. I know I've shown you these before, that these are weighted shelves, and as you take an item off, gosh, I don't know how they do it, don't ask me, it will know what you have picked up. So you don't have to have a scanner, anything like that. I know that's a big thing in supermarkets in the UK. You don't scan it at the till at the end. I think you do anyway. How does it know? Because I haven't scanned in. Oh, we're learning together, guys. Some of the items are just a lot more money than you would get in a local supermarket and its competitors. I do think some of this pricing has been amended to be a little bit more reasonable. I mean, £1.85 for soup. Do you remember when those were like 40p? My gosh. And then you have got a hot counter as well. They haven't got much, which is a bit odd. I think it's about 2 o'clock at the time of filming this. But yeah, meal deal. I did read actually that sometimes buying an individual item in a meal deal costs more than the meal deal. So you end up just having to picking up more stuff for the sake of it. So what we got? Meal deal's £5.50. That is a lot more than a meal deal, but it is a hot meal deal. There isn't really a comparison because Pret doesn't do a meal deal. Tesco doesn't have hot food like that. But £3.26. That's so weird for a barbecue chicken wrap. And then a vegan all-day burrito, £5.25. So I'm going to debunk that actually. £5.50. It's okay. What do you get? A drink and any snack. I think you get quite a lot of food. I think the problem is everyone goes for like the £3.50 Tesco one, and then the cold meal deal is £3.90. Let's see what we've got. That is more money than all the other retailers. Chicken Caesar salad. But yeah, these are quite expensive to buy. They've just got some slightly different salads and things. Pollen and Grace is definitely a more premium brand. But I think people just aren't seeing the value in it. I mean, you can get that whole thing of sushi in a meal deal. That's £5 as it is. Hold on a minute, that's not an attractive angle, is it? Oh dear. Oh, this is just really confusing. How much is it? You know, like at Tesco, there's 2 meal deals. Oh, premium main. Okay. Oh my god. So £5.50 is the black branding. I don't think that branding works at all in a store, but £5.50 you get a hot something, or you get this section here, but it's confusing because it's a split shelf. I'm telling you, the average person is not going to bother to look at this, but yeah, £5.50. And I guess they're right. You can get this falafel salad for £5.50, but actually you're not paying more, but you can get a drink and a side for the same price. Get a lot more for your money in the snack side of things, but yeah, £3.90. It's not that confusing, but I think it is when it's a new supermarket. Yeah, you've got things like overnight oats, big pots of things as the snack. But yeah, there's no one here. I think everyone just thinks it's not worth the money, because because if you compare these prices to M&S food is like, it's more money. I feel like a sandwich at M&S is like £4 on its own now, and the sandwiches here are £3.90, £3.50, so it is cheaper. There's obviously not a perceived value or bouginess. I don't know. I think they need to do some marketing, because I think people are really, myself included, confused about where this sits, because aesthetic wise it kind of looks like Asda, right? Nothing wrong with Asda, I love you, but they ain't Asda prices. Yeah, like some of the drinks are a lot more premium. Mockingbird Raw, these are £2.75 anyway, or this one, Press, £3.40 for a drink, but it's included in that meal deal, so yeah, £3.40 is your drink, but the meal deal itself is only £3.90. Prime member deals, they've got these little call out little plastic thingies, very American, 10% off. This is another thing that I was looking up. Gosh, can I put my camera on here, or is it going to think I'm buying something? Generally in food and food offers, we tend to have like a money value off, or like a multi-buy, like 2 for £3, buy one get one free, say 50p. Very rarely would you see like 10% off a single item, so I find that a little bit strange, and I think the pricing, it just doesn't really feel like a saving, although it is. I think as a British consumer, we kind of resonate a bit more with like a money value off. Do you know what I mean? And just looking at the bread, it is the same price. This is really hard to shop actually. 2 for £2.50 on the Hovis. Do they have own label? Obviously some of this is from Morrison, some of it is Amazon. £1.30 for a pack of wraps. That's about normal. I think that's definitely normal value. I think some of it is just more premium, but doesn't feel premium. I don't know if it's a branding thing. Yeah, it hasn't really told the story yet, is my opinion so far. Something to note is this is only a small store, so it's interesting to see what cupboard stuff they have. And then on the flip side, I don't know, I would never buy cereals not on offer. Look at that, £4.34. I'm gonna have to compare this with Tesco. So they're trying to get you to be a Prime member, but maybe you don't have to have an account anymore. This is utterly ridiculous. So in the UK, you can buy beer and wine in a shop. You don't have to go in a separate room. That is ridiculous. Maybe it's for security, but that's kind of stupid. You go into like a little separate thing, we'll go in. It's ridiculous. You're a Brit, for God's sake. Bit of promo, the Flower Station. And then they've got £1.50 plant-based. It's quite nice. What's weird is it doesn't actually smell of bakery at all in here, so I don't think any of it is baked in the back. I guess you wouldn't have that in a smaller store, so that's a bit of an unfair comparison. But you know, when you go to like a big Sainsbury's, you can smell the bakery. And they have free paper bags. That does not happen anymore in the UK. Maybe they're really encouraging people to shop. But there's quite a lot of like gifty chocolate bits. I'm not sure if that's because it is literally Christmas when I'm filming this. 2 for £8, and then you get an additional 10% off. That's quite a good deal actually. It works out quite good. And then £4.50 for the Heroes. It's just there's so many labels. And the prices initially, there has got to be some weird psychology behind this. It just seems really expensive, even though with the offers, actually, it's not too bad. But let me just show you that. I mean, I've probably said it about 5 times. Some of this stuff is like quite premium, but some of it is quite good value. And I think when you're trying to like cater to both, it doesn't really work. I don't know. I feel like some of this stuff looks quite nice. 308. Like there's got to be some kind of studies around why people aren't picking up things at a price like that. It's just really odd. If you're not watching this in the UK or you're watching it in a country where they add tax after, these are the final prices. You don't pay tax on top of that. So there's got to be something in a Brit's mind where you're like, oh, 99p, £1.10, but it's just really like £3.53. Yeah, that one's that, and then that one is that. It just, oh God, it's doing my head in already. But with all the technology, for me personally, like this should be quite an exciting experience. Like it is pretty amazing. But I think there's just so many other little things that just feel quite uncomfortable. Like the weird pricing. I think it takes a long time for a consumer to get comfortable with the branding. Like these little electrical shelf edge, what's it do does, the grey in the background just makes me, I don't know, I don't really want to look at them. What is going on? Was £1.60, now it's 70p, but then it's got Prime 10% off and it's got this tag. bag, it's just a bit much for a multi-bag of bit of veg that you can microwave. Interesting to see who starts to shop here and how it does. A lot of the food in here is vegan. There's a lot of like meatless substitute, whatever you want to call it. A lot of obviously ready to go food. We are in West Hampstead. I would have hopefully thrown up a map. So we are kind of in an area where there's like young professionals and families and they want to grab, I would say they're probably trying to compete very heavily with M&S. But M&S, I don't know, just feels a little bit more special. Do you know what I mean? Or is that marketing? Wheaties, bags of sweets. The offers that they have, $1.50 for like a big grab bag of Milky Way stars. Oh my gosh, I absolutely love those. I might have to get them. No, yes, maybe, not sure. So they are kind of normal prices. There just aren't as many offers. Yeah, jammy Dodgers for £1. That's all right, isn't it? Saturday afternoon rush before Christmas. I'm not even like going to edit this so it looks even quieter. Like this is literally the situation. Right, I'm going to have to put you on one of these weighing scales, shelf things. We'll see if I get told off. I was just talking to the guy. They're really sweet in here. The store's only been open for a month. They've got some obviously opening deals, which I think I showed you before. But yes, some updates, guys. I'm gonna give them some credit, all right? Even though this is very much the most hated supermarket, there's no denying that. I think Co-op is a close second in London. Co-op is an absolute rip-off. Yes, you don't have to have an Amazon account. They have a couple of tills. They've got 3 tills here where you can obviously do a bit of self-service. And yeah, you can pay how you want. However, you cannot pay cash. I just spoke to the guy. He said that someone just came in and picked up like 40 items and she wanted to pay cash and they couldn't process it. They have no way of doing it. So Bezos, Amazon. I actually like Amazon. I shop a bit too much on Amazon. I really disagree with that. Like if someone isn't in a position where they have a bank account for whatever reason or they don't have their card with them, or I'm gonna say like if maybe like a homeless person comes in, like they can't process it. I really disagree with that. Obviously it's not the staff's doing, that's the concept. I think in a lot of places, you know, I show you a lot of places in London, it will say cash only in cafes and stuff, but even like the big supermarkets, like when you go to a self-service, there's no cash till, but they'll say, oh, if you want to pay cash, pay over here. There's usually the option. Very odd. Don't agree with it. Okay, so at the beginning, obviously I didn't scan to come in, but the guy was just telling me that as you walk in, it creates an account or creates a user. Yeah, the cameras create, I don't know, like a profile of some form and follows you around the store. And it will pick up everything that you're buying. So then when you go here, hypothetically my debit card, and I would go bloop bloop, whatever, it will let me out and it will know what I bought, which is mad. And if you want to use your Amazon account, you just scan the QR code that will come up on the app. They have done a lot of updates. Also, they did say if you pay on the card that's linked to your Amazon account, say you don't have your phone or whatever with you for a reason or you forget to do it, if you scan out maybe with your Amex that you've got linked to your Amazon account, you'll get the discount. So those 10% that we saw, it will link it, I hope. And then the alcohol section, which I said about, there is a button, so if it is closed. But they were telling me this is for security. So obviously, when you go out, they're not checking your ID. So this is a way that they can do it. It just feels a bit like you're in jail. You're in alcohol jail. You're being naughty for buying some booze. But yeah, what have we got? Multi-buys, 3 or more bottles and get 25% off. That's actually a really good deal. Usually in supermarkets you have to buy 6, but then at the same time, if they're more to start with, oh, here's an example. You probably can't see it. £9 for white wine Oyster Bay. That's pretty good, I think. And then there's another 10% off. Oh, I might have to get a few things. It's a bit bizarre, I think, being a Brit and it being this separate little room. But essentially, if you're buying anything, they will check your ID while you're in the room. It's a bit of a strange concept, but I guess there's no other way of doing it. Unless, like, when you scanned out, it, like, dinged a bell and someone came to check, which would probably be a bit of a pain. And if you were at Tesco or something, I think quite a lot of this booze would be behind the counter, potentially. But yeah, it's probably normal prices. I do think this kind of having a box, I think Brits probably just wouldn't bother with that. They'd probably be better off just putting the real stuff and risking it getting nicked, to be honest with you. Blue Moon, £7.30 for 4. I feel like these are kind of London prices, and they have got 3 for £6. I think that's pretty standard. I know I keep saying that, but yeah, it's just we're not used to all of these shelf edge labels and all of this branding, I think. So this, what's going on here? It's £9.10. Buy 3, save 25%, and it's a member deal. Or do I have to be a member to do the 25% off? I am going to get trolled in this video for being stupid, but I think when you're food shopping, I don't really want to think about it. I feel like I should take advantage of this meal deal. Yeah, it would be the same price if I buy that on its own versus buying all the extra bits. Yeah, see, that is really good. Sushi, a posh yogurt, and a raw drink for $5.50? For God's sake, Hannah. Yeah, they've got lots of Morrison's food. Morrison's ready meal. These are kind of like the cheaper end, £4.30. I think that's quite a lot. Free range eggs, Amazon branded. Are they Amazon branded chickens? Probably in an Amazon hut somewhere. £1.60, I'm joking. But in the corner, they've got per count. So they are normal shelf edge labels. 26.7p per egg for medium size. I'm going to grab those. One packaging gripe. Look at this chicken and it's like in a bag. Ew, what is that? No, that feels weird. But then this is really cheap. A thing of... These are like £3.50 in Tesco. £1.72 for God's sakes. Just call it £1.70. Right, how much is a Jeff Bezos banana? Oh, this works out really cheap. 13p a banana. That's really good. Oh, they're banging the tunes out. Let's get some of these. This seems underpriced. £1.05 for a flaxseed that's ground. I'm going to get that. They are giving out complimentary bags as a new store, so you wouldn't normally get these, but I put it in the bags. I haven't used the till, so let's see what happens. So I'm gonna purposely use my debit card, which I think is linked to my Amazon account. So let's see. I guess I just... It rumbled. Get set. There we go. If you use the normal self-checkouts, you can get a printed off receipt. I think they've taken that on board. However, if you go through here and you use just a debit card that's not linked to any Amazon account, you can't get a receipt. The way you get a receipt, I should say, is you scan this little QR code. You have to put like the bank transaction number in, then you'll get it, I guess, emailed to you. So yeah, if you don't have an Amazon account, I probably wouldn't bother using that kind of quick scan. So they've kind of made it a bit of a hybrid. Anyway, let's head on out and I'm going to give you my thoughts. Out into the glorious windy weather. I've literally had to balance you on some construction bin. I hope you don't mind. Yes, now this video has not kind of gone how I thought it would, because there have been some improvements and I've got to give credit where credit's due. Oh my God, look at this weather, it's so grey out. Credit where credit's due, they definitely have listened to feedback and have changed quite a few things. It'd be interesting to see if some of these changes actually happen at the other stores in London. Like I said, this is the newest one. Now, you guys know I film a lot of stores, whether it's Poundland, whether it's Costco, whether it's M&S, Harrods. There has to be some kind of prize as a consumer when you're shopping. There has to be a beginning, a middle and an end when you're going shopping. Costco, for example, you go there, you know it's going to be busy, it's going to be effort, it's, you know, you've got to make sure you got your wits about you, but you're on a bit of a treasure hunt. You're there to find some exciting things in your time and your pace. There's help there if you need it, but it's kind of like a bit of a fun activity. I know a lot of people will be like, Costco's not fun, but at the end you get that receipt and you've always spent more than you think you're going to spend, but you know you've got some deals. There's this kind of full circle moment in shopping. The going in at the beginning, I think, is great that they've changed it, that you do not need to scan. In the time that I was in there for a while, probably about 9 people did come in. They actually had some shoppers and they all were like, ugh, at the gates. They've also got big entrance arrows and the guy at the front was like, no, you can just go in, you can just go in. So that's going to take a long time for customers to realize that that has gone, which is a great thing. Obviously, you don't have to have an Amazon account anymore. But the actual shopping journey, as you saw, this mess of a video, I can't believe you've even watched it for this long, guys. It's quite confusing. There's obviously a lot of branding, a lot of like shelf edge label text, a lot of call outs, and I don't know, I think as a normal person, like, it takes a long time to get familiar with a store's branding. Shelf edge labels, I really don't like those electrical things. They don't pop, they don't jump out when I'm looking around. I feel like I'm in like a B&Q or something. It feels a bit warehousey because of all the cameras and the tracks above you. I think you'd have to be careful to not end up spending a fortune on stuff that would be cheaper next door at Tesco. I mean, there's literally a Tesco there. There's an M&S across the road. I was a bit like, am I spending over the odds? Because as a consumer, I don't have the confidence that I'm not being ripped off. Do you know what I mean? And also some of the multi-buy deals were just very confusing. Again, at that end, that bookend, you need to bookend your customer journey, your experience of shopping. No one wants to go food shopping, it's kind of boring, but you don't get that kind of feeling like you've completed your task at the tills. I think it's great that they've now added in self-service and you can pay with any card. I really disagree that, I'm actually quite angry about it. I am really disappointed that there is a supermarket chain that's allowed in the UK where they are allowed to refuse cash. I just don't agree with it. If you're down the road at a little cake sale and, you know, Mabel from number 22 doesn't want to take cash, that's up to her if she's got a little chip and pin machine. But an Amazon to say no to cash, I just think that's really wrong. But that aside, I do think it's good that they've got the self-service checkouts. But again, for me, I'm an Amazon customer, so I scanned out. I don't know, and the guy said, oh, it can take a couple of business days to show. To me, that's not good enough. That's not good enough. It should be instant or you don't offer it. And if you are paying on a debit card that isn't linked, or credit card or whatever, that isn't linked to an Amazon account, to do that stupid little QR code, the lady in front of me was like, where's my receipt? And he was like, unfortunately, was like, oh, you need to scan this, type in your bank, like your transaction ID. Come on, don't be ridiculous, Bezos. So that's terrible. That's a 0 out of 10. They lose 10 points from Slytherin for that. Did I just put Bezos in Slytherin? Would he be a Slytherin? I don't know. I also understand why they did this whole just walk out. It was really interesting to see. I don't think there's any branding that said just walk out, because that was their big tagline back when this started. It just doesn't work. Like I said, you need that bookend. Me as a customer, I like the feeling like I've completed my task. Whether I'm in Poundland, there's that excitement of like, oh yeah, I got all of this for this on my receipt, or even digitally on an email. I think as a human, you kind of need that moment. Even as a kid, when you were given pocket money, you'd go and buy something, you'd do that transaction with, you know, the toy shop or the sweet shop or whatever, you might get a receipt. And I think that's where it feels uncomfortable. There were loads of people in there who were like, it just seemed like a very nervous experience for everybody who was going in there. I am waffling on for ages now, but I'm trying to get my point across, guys. This is horrible out. Hope you like this video, because this is effort. You're all at home after Christmas, aren't you? You're in that Christmas and New Year time. I've come out and made a video. I think that's worthy of a subscribe. Unless you didn't like the video, then you've just wasted 20 minutes. You nearly fell off the bin. Are you okay? Let's put you back up again. This tripod that I bought was rubbish. It was really expensive. Is it a bit creepy? Is a little bit. It's clever. It's really clever when you think about it. I mean, I haven't got the receipt yet, but yeah. Anyway, I think I've waffled on for long enough about a flipping shop. But there we go. For me, the story hasn't quite been established in my point of view. Am I getting a bit deep over a supermarket? I might be, actually. Anyways, I come to a close. Oh, I sound like I'm doing a presentation, soz. I am working today, actually, the 27th. If you're working between Christmas and New Year, love to you. But yeah, there is a reason why the shop is literally empty. I would encourage you to go and have a look if you've got one near you. I think my bananas were quite cheap, actually. Oh, should we see if I've got my receipt? I would like to see my receipt. So if you're someone who wants to keep an eye on what they're spending, even 10 minutes after they've left the store, no normal consumer is going to be okay with that experience. And I said this years ago when I did another video. I think that store's now closed. Yeah, put up on the screen. Was it correct? But I'm going to love and leave you. That was really... How much did I spend? Did I get 10% off? What were the Prime deals? I don't know. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this absolute mess of a video. Oh, I think my hair is dry now. I look a bit more presentable now. I'm in my funeral coat. I love this coat. Anyway, subscribe. New videos every Friday. I'm going to continue through into the new year. I know most people are like unboxing all their fancy stuff that they bought in the sale. But like I said, I'm not really an unboxing girly, not on camera. I mean, I can unbox my bananas and my flaxseed, but that's not very exciting. Anyway, guys. That man is like, why is that woman talking to a bin? Subscribe, and I will see you next Friday at 6 p.m. UK time. Let me know in the comments, what do you want to see in 2025? But yeah, I'll see you next year, guys. I feel like I finished on a bit of a rubbish video, but anyway, mwah, bye.